So I recently got a new grill and I wanted to test it out on my balcony on a rainy day because why not? A lot of times when you get these little electric grills, you have to try it out on the worst days possible just to see if it could put out enough heat to actually cook something of substance. So I chose to make my ranch burgers and put this little grill to the test. The first thing I did was adjust the temperature to allow it to preheat and, let off any smells or smoke that needs to get charred off. I had all my ingredients prepped and ready to go, and once my grill was heated, I went ahead and started with my meat. And since this grill is also basically a hot plate, I went ahead and grilled up some onions with it as well. Once I had that all set, I go ahead and put my lid back on to let everything cook the way it needs to. What I learned from using this grill already is that keeping the lids on makes sure that it cooks properly. Having the lid off and being outside definitely will affect the temperature of the grill. So I kept the lid on so that my meats could cook evenly. I also noticed during the cooking process that the grill turns itself on and off to regulate its temperature, and if the lid is off, it's going to have a harder time heating up, so it definitely cooks better when the lid is on. Another thing I did to adjust to being outside while it's raining and a little bit cooler out there is I have the temperature turned all the way up to the max. Because I'm cooking these burgers, which are not thin, I wanted to make sure that my meat cooked all of the way and that I was able to get the proper temperature in order to cook my burgers all the way through. Another feature I came across is that the drippings all run to the back of the hot plate and down into this little pull-out area that basically collects all the drippings. So be sure to check that from time to time to make sure that it doesn't overflow. And now that my meats have been cooking for a while, I'm just going to check the center of my burgers to see how well this actually cooked. And I can honestly say, this grill cooked my meat all the way through and my burger is juicy. So now that I'm satisfied with how that turned out, I'm going to go ahead and pretty much finish off my cooking by adding some cheese and letting that get warm. Once my burgers are done, I pretty much dress it up in everything that I absolutely love to have on a burger, which is everything. But one thing I love most about a good burger is basically being able to have a toasted bun. So we're going to go back to the grill and clean it off ever so slightly and prepare it to be used to toast the top buns. To toast the buns, I like to use Irish salted butter. I feel like that's the best butter when it comes to toasting anything, so it's basically my go-to. Once you have the butter melted, just spread your bun around onto the melted butter to make sure it coats the bread, and then just let it sit on the grill for a bit. With the grill still on high, because we are outside and the weather is a little mucky, you're going to let it sit for about a good 5 minutes, and then you pull it off, and it should have a crunchy, toasty, buttery flavor that has the bun soft on the inside, but the edges are crunchy. I love it that way. And just for the fun of it, I'm going to cut into the burgers now that they've been assembled, just to show you what the inside looks like and show you that they are indeed fully cooked. And now that I'm done cooking, I'm going to go ahead and remove my drip tray and dump it just so I don't forget it later. I definitely like having the drip tray empty before I move it, so that way I don't forget and it drips all over me. And of course, once your grill is cooled down, it is safe to move and get ready to clean. So for the cleaning process, I like to use a very specific dish detergent which cuts through any of the grease that may be left behind on the parts that I've used. When it comes to these portable grills, the hardest part is cleaning, so finding the perfect cleaning agents to help get rid of any of the mess that's left over definitely helps in the process. So I would also suggest getting one of those little cleaning scrubbing brushes that you would probably use for a bottle or something because it helps clean everything so much quicker. When it came time to clean the bigger parts, that wasn't as bad either. Using the dishwater I prepared with that powerful dish detergent and a little scrubby brush, it didn't take long before the hardened parts actually dissolved off of it, so cleaning was actually really easy. The parts that were stubborn, I just let it soak for less than 2 minutes and then it easily scrubbed off with the brush that I had. When it came to cleaning the griddle off, that was pretty easy too. I could have just lifted this up and put it into the dishwater, but I didn't want all of the grease ruining my dishwater, so I just did a little prep work of cleaning it off with a paper towel before I go in and scrub it. If you want to skip to just lifting it up off of the base and putting it into the dishwater, you surely can do that. But as you can see, it is really easy to clean. So after trying this grill out for the first time and successfully cooking some burgers on it, I can genuinely say that I like it. I can definitely see this being used by college students or those in a small apartment where using a gas or coal grill isn't actually feasible. So I definitely suggest this grill. It's decent.